Hello everybody! Welcome back to Big Nerds Wargaming live stream hobby hangout painting session, whatever you want to call it. My name's Sam, and today I'm painting a proxy for the Lord Solar Leontis, specifically for my Death Korps of Krieg army. This is a 3D printed miniature from Station Forge, is the creator's name. Got this on mymanufactory.com, and I 3D printed him along with a bunch of Kriegsman infantry that you saw me paint last week on stream. But now I thought I'd paint a character single model, hopefully from start to finish. We'll see how far I get. And I went ahead and already prepped this miniature with a black undercoat, and then I did a matte gray zenithal with the airbrush, and then I did a dry brush using a very pure white, bold titanium white. And the goal here was to prep the miniature for undershade painting, or slap chop as many people refer to it, specifically because I want to paint the horse a specific way, and more organic natural things like beasts lend themselves really well to slap chop. And I have a bunch of brown tones available in contrast paints, so I was going to use those to paint the horses, because I also have 10 horsemen that he's leading. So just to show you some horsemen that I've been working on, here's a horse I painted using some slap chop and layering, and we have other styles too. So I have, for example, a black horse, some black contrast paint, and then we have a blonde horse. This one's almost done, just trying to get it start to finish, get the scheme down. And then we have another brown horse. So you can see, using slap chop and contrast paints, we can have several style horses, and get some variation in color, and they look really good. So I'm just going to keep these guys off to the side here so I can use them for reference, or show other people as they come on the stream, hang out with us tonight. Alright, so I think for the commander here, I'm going to give him a blonde color horse, with some black coloring along the legs and the black mane, or very dark brown, I should say. Probably black looking. And I think that'll look pretty cool. So this horse here, I'm going to be just going over with contrast skeleton horde. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. I'm having a good day so far. Doing some painting. It's been good stuff. Alright, so I'm just going right out of the pot here with the skeleton horde contrast. I'm going to get it everywhere on the horse's skin. So this coloring, I asked my wife what color I should make the commander's horse, and she said to make it the coloring of the horse from the Disney movie Spirit. I've never seen it, so I had to look it up. But that's what we're going for. So he's kind of like a blonde horse with some black accent patches in the coloring. So painting the slap chop style, it's great for beginners to get some really good looking minis with very little effort. But what I like to do is use slap chop as like a base coat, and then go back over it with some layers to really help blend out the colors a little bit more and do some highlights. And that is what really takes it to the next level, I think. Heck yeah, we're gonna watch it. Oh my gosh, the delay. Is the delay very bad? Well, the Streamlabs delay is probably pretty bad, but the YouTube delay, is that bad? Hi, I like the color of the horses. Nice work. Thank you. Yeah, so we got some I did earlier, just to kind of show. There's a blonde horse. And we got like a chestnut horse. We got a dark brown horse. It's like 30 or 40 seconds. Huh. Not like that. Hang on, let me have a look-see here. Bear with me. Let me see if I can improve this latency. Let's see here. Let's go to stream settings. I'm not sure if there's anything I can do here about the For me, it's no problem. Look after your contrast on the horse. Alright. Stream delay. Stream delay is disabled, so I think we might be going at as fast as it can go. I'll look into it again for next time. Hopefully I can improve it and get as close to near real time. Maybe I need to update my streaming software. Alright, contrast on the horse. I'm just going to go over the whole horse with Skeleton Horde. It's kind of a nice blonde color. I'm going to make sure I get everywhere. And then we're going to go over this with some layer paint to kind of clean it up a little bit. Because depending on how sloppy the white dry brush is when I prepped the mini, it'll kind of show through and kind of make it look a little messy. Like you can see here on the back here, it's a little scratchy looking, and I don't really want that texture to show through, so we're going to clean that up with some layering after I get this base coat down. But yeah, Slapchop is really fun when you kind of go beyond the basic Slapchop and start adding some layers to it too. You can get a lot of bang for your buck as far as time and effort invested. And you get some really good looking models. Yeah, some really good looking models afterwards. All right. Gonna just kind of go back over here in the front. Another coat. Just want to get that color a little more rich. Make sure the head is adequately colored here. All right. Contrast coat is down. And I'm going to speed this up with a hairdryer, which I keep under my hobby desk. Best hobby tool ever, the hairdryer. Evening, folks. Hello, David. Painting some more Krieg minis, but I'm painting a character this time, so I'm going to try to take this guy from start to finish. This is a Proxy 4. It's a cavalry captain. I'm going to use it as a cavalry captain initially with some stand-in Death Riders, and then once the new Death Riders come out, I'm going to transition these guys over to be proxies for Rough Riders. And I'll have the new Death Riders. And then this guy will be a proxy for Leontis Lord Solar. So I'm just going to go ahead and put him on a big base to begin with. So that way I don't have to rebase him later. Kind of this awkward in-between time before new stuff comes out. So Slap chopping horse sounds criminal. In at least 3 states, Sam. Yeah, kind of does. Don't tell PETA. Yes, I have one at my desk, and it's a really nice tool. Nice. Alright, so I got the slap chop coat down, and now I'm going to go over it with some... I think I was using Hellerin sand. It's pretty close. I could also maybe use some Balor brown. Maybe even a mixture of the two. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little 50-50 mix there. That might look alright. I got some stuff on my palette already because I've been doing some painting earlier today on some horsies. Alright, so Hellerin sand and Balor brown. Yeah, those new Death Korps cavalry are ballin'. They sure are. I cannot wait. My English is not the best in writing, so sorry for the bad English. Oh, I had no idea. Your English is just fine, my friend. It's probably better than most Americans. Alright, so we're going to do a 50-50 mix here. And I also want to mix in some water. So I want this to be pretty thin. Almost like a glaze consistency. Almost. Because I want this to be pretty transparent on the horse. I am from Germany. Ah, sehr gut. Willkommen. That's like all the German I know. Wir sind alles Freunde. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer that mixture over the contrast. This is very thin. Started getting rid of that kind of like scratchy appearance that the slap chop was giving us. We'll get under on the neck here. And on the ear. I took some German classes when I was in high school. So that's right. Yeah, the chat lag is very real tonight. I know. I started the stream a little different way than I normally do, and I have a feeling it's using some default settings, and it's creating a delay. So I think we're just gonna have to deal with it tonight, and I will try to get that sorted out for next time. But yeah, if anyone's seen the Disney movie Spirit, that's what I'm trying to make the horse look like. By request of my wife. So I have not seen the movie, fortunately, so I'm just going off of a picture. Too bad I have to go to sleep. It's 2 in the morning. Hope you guys have a nice day and night. Alright, man. Thanks for hanging out. Guten Abend. Or Guten Morgen for you. It's 2. So and just like that, we get some really nice looking coloring on this. I don't know, I'm liking contrast paints more and more. They're a nice tool to have. When used in conjunction with other stuff. So you can see, here's with some layering, and here's without. This looks pretty messy, and this looks nice and clean. Danke, die auch eine gute Nacht. I like them as glazes, to be fair. Yeah, they're good for glazes. And I think using them in conjunction with like regular layer paints, you get some really nice color and volumes, like if you do a slap chop style, kind of like what I'm doing here on the horse. You get a lot for a little effort, and it looks great. Normally I try to paint these all with the airbrush, like I did my other infantry, but I figured it'd be kind of hard to get the horse coloring and the coat on the guys targeted cleanly with the airbrush, so I thought I'd do a slap chop speed paint instead, and I think this will work out. Some layering on those cheeks. Yeah, I did a big batch of 50 infantry Kriegsmen last week. Took me a few days, but I got through them all. So, I'm painting up some tanks too. So once I finish this guy here, along with the 10 Death Riders, I will have a full 2,000 point guard army. So I'm really motivated to get this squad done. And then I'll have a good base of guard ready for the new releases coming out. Pick up that new... I want to get the army box. It's got the engineers and the riders and that new character. And the artillery pieces. It all just looks really cool. My son-in-law left me his Lord Solar to paint. Ah! Try my slap chopping ideas on that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at that. This looks really good already. I guess we'll move on to... I could try to... He's a character after all. Maybe I'll try to lighten him up a little bit more. We'll mix in some Ubshati bone. Into our mixture here. Get a little bit lighter. I'm just going to do some very targeted highlights and layers. Let's get it a little bit thinner. Even thinner. More water. Just gotta do some very targeted glazing here. See how this looks. Just want to lighten up a couple spots here and there, not the whole thing. I'm just like amazed at how much you get for just a couple passes. This enhanced slap chop approach. Get those ears. A little bit lighter there. Want a little heavy on the neck here, so maybe I can add some water and try to thin this down a little bit. Maybe bring back in some of our previous mixture. Do a little blending here. Just want to bring it back down a little bit. And we'll come back on the cheeks here. Lighten those. Just a little bit. Yeah, getting the right paint consistency is key here, and can be kind of tricky. But once you do, you kind of unlock a bunch of stuff that you can now do that you previously couldn't. Alright. Still want to darken this neck up a little bit. Just blend that a little bit better. There we go. Alright. So now we need something really dark on the tail, and then we're going to blend in some coloring on the legs. So like a really dark... I suppose I could just do that with like an Agrax Earth Shade and just kind of layer and layer and darken it up. But for the tail, I'm just going to go over it with Cygor Brown. I got these cool little swatches for my shades and contrast paint. And they're 3D printed, and you just glue them on, and I painted them white, or gray sear. And they give you a nice little look of what it looks like. Sometimes they look a little bit different when they're dry versus wet, and they have different levels of coverage and intensity. So I've been really enjoying these. Alright, so I'm going to do Cygor Brown on the tail here. Very careful not to screw up what I already painted. That would be a disaster. Alright, we got the dark tail on. There's a little bit of his mane. I think, yeah. It's just a little bit of his mane showing under this armor. Try to get it cleanly. The mane is kind of buzz cut trimmed. Cutted isn't the word. Alright, so we got the mane, we got the tail. I'm going to do the coloring by the feet. And I'm going to use Agrax Earth Shade for that. We're just going to do a couple passes of it. No disasters, just happy little mistakes. Life is just a bunch of happy little mistakes. Words to live by. Alright, so I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down here. About the knee. The knee down. So the spot where I pick up the brush is where it's gonna pool the most. So that's why I'm going from top to bottom. This is going to take several passes, I think, to get a nice blend. Alright, so that's a good start, and now I'm gonna hit this guy with the hair dryer so I can get do another coat. Alright, so the first pass is dry. I'm gonna come back and do it again. I'm gonna start roughly the same spot. And repeat. About the knee all the way down. And once again, we're gonna hit it with the hair dryer. Got a little thick here. Don't want it too thick. Otherwise it'll dry funny. Alright. Hair dryer time. No, it's looking pretty good. I think another pass, perhaps. And then maybe a pass of Nuln oil. Just get it really dark at the bottom. Give me one good-looking horsey. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's get some Nuln oil just to go even darker. I use the old Nuln oil formula. The new stuff doesn't tint as much. It's a little bit more flowy though. So I like to hang on to the old Nuln oil and use it for special cases now, where I want more control over tinting. I don't hate the new formula, it's just different. If you're not expecting it to be different, then I could understand why it would make you upset. We're just gonna go over that about halfway down the leg, or down where we were doing it before, and just tint that even darker. Slather the gnome. Hello, Ben. How's it going? Ben, what do you think of the new Death Guard detachment? Alright, let's do one more coat of gnome oil. I just really want to get a nice blend in there. Really dark. This is a character after all, so we'll give him a little bit extra effort. Alright. One more time with the hairdryer. Not as good as the Tyranids detachment, but nonetheless excited to play it, yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to get a game in sometime soon and try out some new detachments. I think that'd be fun. I need to get more Tyranid warriors to maximize that new detachment, but I think I have enough to benefit from it. But definitely, yeah. Brilliant strategy on Games Workshop's part to sell new models by making these crazy detachments. Alright, so for the saddle, I'm going to paint that Mornfang brown. And let's just zoom in a bit more here. So I'm going to try to paint from the inside going out. So that way I'm cleaning up less and less. So we got some saddle down here. I'm enjoying the release schedule. Makes me excited now that I have 3 armies. Yeah! The more armies you have, the more excited you get every time they post on Warhammer Community, that's for sure. That's how they get you. They suck you in with that steady drip. So this guy might have been a good idea to do as a sub-assembly, but I really wanted to get the reins all figured out and glued together properly and whatnot, so I figured I'd just kind of work around it. So it's becoming a little bit of a challenge to paint here, but I think I'll manage. I guess it really just points out what's important on the model, since you can't really see everything all the time. Alright, so then the rest of the straps on the horse, I'm going to paint in Rhinox hide, which is a nice, very dark brown. So just getting some base coats down here. Ben, how are your Chaos Knights coming along? Hopefully all well. Back to painting now that all my custodies are built. That was a slog. How you doing tonight? Sam, I am doing great. I've been painting some horsies. So, just to kind of show, working out some different schemes for horses. This is like the blonde scheme. These are all done with slap chop. And a little bit of layering afterwards. Just to kind of clean it up. So that's a blonde horse. We got a chestnut horse here. I too am a fan of mounted models, yes. That's a chestnut. And we got a black beauty here. I might do a little bit of layering on the gray highlights just to clean that up, because this doesn't have anything. It's just like a 2-to-1 contrast medium with Black Templar over slap chopped horse. And then we have a dark brown horse here. Priming with the airbrush, finally getting some good results in control after testing on some other game models. Waiting on Army Painter to get my metallic order over. Nice. I can't wait to see what you do with those knights, Ben. We'll have to get them featured on the channel too. I think that'd be fun. And christen them in with a game. Alright, so we got this leather straps painted. Those models look great. Awesome prints. Horses look good. Thank you. Yeah, these models are a lot of fun. They make some really good proxies. So my plan is to have these be Death Riders for now. And then when I get the new Death Riders, they're going to be Rough Riders. Because I actually don't like the way the Attilan Rough Riders look. I'm not a fan of the like the Mongolian horse look for the guard. These guys will fit in nicely with the Krieg army, though. Alright, get that leather printed. The boots will also be Rhinox hide, so we'll just go ahead and get those painted as well. I'll get these straps painted Rhinox hide as well. I'll get the other side real quick. Yeah, painting horses is fun. I like to do different types of horses instead of making them all look the same. I think the Death Riders, though, I'm gonna make them all look the same. I really like that light horse look they have with Kind of that like reddish pinkish shade by where their claws are. So when I get the Death Riders, I'm going to paint them all, I think, more uniform. But yeah, inspiration has struck, so I am all Krieg. Let's get the saddlebags painted Rhinox hide. And he is slowly coming to life. Alright, so then for the undergarments, like his pants, those are going to be Steel Legion drab. But I still got some straps on the horse I want to paint on the front here, so I'm just going to get those done real quick. Trying to work from my way from the inside out of the model. So going for the lowest, hardest to reach areas first, and then painting my way out. Should make it generally a bit easier to work with. And should reduce the amount of mistakes and cleanup work that I'll have to do. Let's get the straps for the horse. Even the horses have gas masks. I love it. As they should. Back to working on my Shroud Runners tonight. How many Shroud Runners do you have? Do you have 3 or 6? I'll be going over this with a healthy dose of Agrax Earthshade to fill in all the gaps and fix my mistakes once this is all done. Almost done. 3 unprimed, 3 unbuilt, new in box. Jet bikes are fun. They are a bit of work though. Which I'm also finding cavalry is also a bit of work. Hoping I can paint up these 10 Kriegsmen on horses fairly quickly. But we shall see. little bit more Rhine oxide. Be using this stuff up with my weathering, my tanks. That strap. Got some other straps down here. And we'll be able to move on to the rider. Alright, so normally I would airbrush the greens on the jacket for the rider, but because he's all one piece, I'm doing it by hand with the brush, but I will still be using the Army Painter air paints. Oops, got out some on the coat there. But they actually work pretty well. Even as thin as they are, brushing them on, especially if you have kind of like this undershaded prep done on the Mini. So you'll see that in a second here. But it will come out a little bit lighter. So I'm going to be using Militia Green Air as the base. I do have some of that already on my palette, so I'll just go ahead and apply that. Starting to curdle a bit. It's been sitting on my palette for a while, so I'm going to add some water and thin it out again. Get it to a nice consistency. And just go ahead and start layering that on the jacket. As you can see, it's very thin, but that's okay. I could just do a couple coats. But even air paints work good for undershading. Add a drop of that on my palette here. Some fresh paint. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. So it comes out really rich and vibrant. A little bit lighter than if I were to airbrush it over black. So after this dries, I will be bringing it back down with some Nuln Oil. Just get that base coat down on the jacket. And the horse has armor on him. I think I'm gonna also paint that green, but I'm gonna use a slightly different green than I'm using on the jackets. Get that base coat down on the green. This jacket, and looks like that's his pants in there. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. The lapels are going to be a different color. Just get in there. Some green. Nice vibrant coat here. Nice vibrant coat on the coat. Alright. For the horse armor, we're going to do Castellan green. Very similar to Militia green, but Citadel. It's a little bit earthier. So Avery, if you're still watching, I hope this horse looks like the horse from Spirit, as requested. Alright, so we have some Castellan green on the armor of the horse. Get a little bit of water in there. Nice thin consistency. That's good. Alright. So he's got this plate on the front. I'm going to do in Castellan green. He's too green. What do you mean he's too green? The horse? The horse isn't green at all. Unless he looks a little green next to the green armor and jacket of the rider, baby. Alright, so look at the Castellan green up here on the face armor. Castellan green is the green I use on their las guns. A nice military kind of green. Come back in for another coat on the front here. He's wearing a hat. I did not paint that green, so I'm going to go back in there with the militia green. Get his hat colored as well. Can't have that uncolored. There we go. Oh, I missed part of the armor here. There we go. Okay. Now for the horse armor, I'm gonna layer in some Strachan green. Just a little bit lighter. I'm gonna try to glaze that on. Take some Strachan green and some Castellan green and 50-50 that. And we'll get some water in that mixture. Get a nice glaze layer consistency here. I'm just gonna lighten this up just a little bit. Just kind of focusing on the high areas. Now my Krieg scheme I want to try to keep fairly simple. But this guy is a character, so I'm doing a little bit more than I normally would. Just to kind of help him stand out better. Also, practicing some of my skills. I get better at layering and like. So as that dries, I'm just gonna come back over some more passes just to brighten that up a little bit. I'll mix in some more of that Strachan green. Kind of do a very light edge highlight here. On the horse armor. Just a simple pass. Not too precise. Pick out some of those details a little bit. That looks pretty good. That base looks great. Is that standard or did you custom make it? The base is a pack of bases I bought. And I 3D printed it. But yeah, it's like a battlefield. It's got some sandbags and some rocks, or some bricks. And I slap chopped it, so I'm gonna contrast paint this, and then I'll add some snow texture effect. So it's gonna be like a snowy, muddy trenches. That's the theme for my Krieg army. Alright. I'm gonna take Null Oil. We're gonna shade his jacket. Darken this up. Oh my, there's a whole spot under here I missed. Yeah, so all my bases for my Krieg army I 3D printed, then slap chopped and painted up. It's a really nice, easy way to get some cool looking bases. And then I want to get a little bit of Null Oil on the horse armor too, so I'm going to water it down just a little bit. Get some shade going here. It's got this nice little like groove on all these plates, which is a perfect spot to collect some shade. Yeah, I'm liking the way that's looking. Well, there's a little bit too much on his hat. Let me try to wick some of that away. There. Alright, here's where we're at so far. I'm gonna give this a air dry real quick. Alright, next we're gonna come in with some khaki. So I start with Steel Legion Drab on that. Have some of that on my palette, so I'll just revitalize that with some water. Look at these pants. Painted up Steel Legion Drab. Also get his gas mask. Steel Legion Drab. The legs over here is khaki. His pants. Also the horse's mask. It's gonna get some Steel Legion drab treatment. And then we got this bedroll on the back of the horse. That is going to be Steel Legion drab as a base coat for our wash coat. Alright, and then while that dries, we're going to go back to the belts on the rider himself and paint those with Rhinox hide. For the leather. And these other straps on the bedroll pack here. Trying to be very methodical here. Switching colors as least often as possible. Or focusing on one area at a time. Get the belt here. We got these straps here on this gas canister. Gas mask canister. Okay. Oh, we have his backpack. Guess we'll do that in Steel Legion drab as well. Yeah, he's actually coming along pretty nicely, and I think I will for sure be able to finish him tonight. So that is fun and exciting. All right. Backpack. There's a spot on his coat here I want to touch up with the belt loops through, so I'm just gonna get some of that militia green on there. And now for the coat, I'm gonna layer in some lighter colors. Steel Legion drab looks a little thin here. We'll layer the coat on the face. There we go. Alright, so for the coat, we're gonna lighten that up a little bit using some army green air paint. I also have on the palette here, so just gonna hydrate that a little bit. We're just gonna come in here and oh, that is too thin. We need some more. Just gonna get a drop here. This is very similar to Strachan green. or War Boss hide. Citadel paints. I'm just gonna come in here and do some layers, build up on his coat here where some of these folds are. Just lighten a little bit here and there. Don't want to go too crazy. These air paints are actually at a very good consistency for layering and glazing. So kind of a little hack there. You can use air paints for some layering. It's very subtle, but you can see it's already starting to kind of add some highlights and some more values in the coat here. Some better lighting. So especially focusing on this spots where the light would be hitting it, such as the top here on his sleeve. And yeah, we'll get to the hat. Lighten up that brim a little bit, and the back of this collar here. Get the bill front here. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay. And then after that, we're going to do a little dry brush with Elysian green on the coat. I could do a dry brush, or I could do some targeted highlights. I'm actually going to do some targeted highlights instead. Normally on the infantry models, I just do a dry brush and call it a day, but, you know, he is a character, so we're being a little bit more precise here. So, we'll do it that way. Using a smaller brush here. Nice tip to it. Some Elysian green, and we're just gonna do some edge highlights here. Some of these sharpest details. Around the brim of his hat, and then we'll also get some of these creases on his jacket. Things like pocket corners. Little belt loops, sharp creases. Want to keep the brush nice and wet. So you get some good flow, but you don't want it to flow too much. Otherwise it'll run in and not stay on the high areas. Just take some practice and repetition for highlighting. the back of his collar here. And the front of his collar here by his face. Yeah, this is looking nice. Alright, next we'll get his armor. So he's wearing some actual armor, and I want to do that in Ironbreaker. Get the lighter metallic color here. Get the blade of his sword and his chest piece and his shins covered in that. I just noticed that there's a support attached to the horse's face. We don't want that. Can't believe I went this long without noticing it. Oh, much better. Those sneaky supports, they find their way in. There, much better. Alright, so... Ironbreaker, metallic. Alright, so gonna carefully get the chest piece he's wearing. Yes, model's a little tricky to paint, being all one piece and not a sub-assembly, but I think we're making it work. Just gonna get a base coat on here, give it a null oil wash, and call it a day for the armor. Let's look at the shin guards. I'm also gonna do the stirrups in Ironbreaker. Alright, stirrups, and then we'll get the shin here. Shin guard. On the boot. Alright, and then the sword blade. It's got a power sword, it looks like. So we'll have to make that glow and light up. I think that'll be cool. Nice focal piece on the miniature. And then the grill on the mask of the horse. As well as the commanders. gas mask grill. Alright, before we rust out the washes, we're going to... Oh, also there's like a apparatus down here that the horse's mask is hooked up into. I'm just going to paint that all iron breaker. The metal components here. Okay, so the lapels, and he's got like a sash. We're gonna paint that red. Tyranid warriors are... They are better now with the detachment. So, you can attach a Neuro Tyrant to them. There's a stratagem to boost the strength of a weapon by 2. So you could have an Exocrine in that army. And now suddenly it goes from anti-elite to anti-vehicle. Which can be a nice little surprise. Also boosting a Exocrine, Tyrannofex with a Rupture Cannon. Boost it from strength 18 to strength 20. So suddenly you can wound a toughness 10 thing on a 2. So, you know, armigers and rhinos, which is kind of silly. But yeah, you have to have a lot of warriors to really benefit from it. I have 2 units of ranged at 6 each, and then I have 1 unit of melee at 6. So I think I could still benefit from using it. But it definitely wouldn't be maximized. But yeah, I do want to try creating a warrior list with that detachment and play it and see how it goes. Alright, so the lapels on the jacket and the sash. We'll get a nice coat of Mephiston red. This sash is tricky. There we go. A little bit of precision brushwork there. We got it. Alright, now we're going to do Mechanicus Standard Gray on some other details here. Like the scabbard and the gas hoses. And the horse goggles and the goggles on his mask. I feel the Death Guard one is interesting. Buffing Death Shroud again, minimally. Seems like They will get an increase in points, losing spread the sickness attachment rails baked on the side. Ooh, yeah. Tyranids looks interesting for warriors. I always felt they should be better for when playing against them. Yeah, they kind of got neutered a little bit in 10th edition, I feel. And they used to be battle line back in the day. So I never liked that they made them not battle line. Also, Gene Stealers used to be battle line. Hopefully, I wonder if they'll do a Gene Stealer detachment. I think that would be a lot of fun. Or if Nids will even get another one. I could see them doubling up on some of the factions that don't have a codex yet. So there's like 25 days till Christmas. Just trying to do the math here. How many factions would get more than one? Now, there's a lot of factions now, so... Are there 25 factions? Does anybody know off the top of their head? Yeah, I wonder if they will focus on Battle Line. Make Battle Line great again. No one ever takes them anymore. I kind of miss where you had to take 2 Battle Line. Yeah, compulsory choices. Compulsory choices. I feel like that made it kind of a little bit more thematic and fluffy. Because the fact that you can have a whole Space Marine army without a single squad of tactical Marines or intercessors is kind of silly to me. Hurts my lore brain. Alright, we'll get the gas mask on the horsey. The hoses. Mechanicus standard gray. The goggles on the horse, can't forget that. It's coming along. We're getting closer, folks. Alright, I'm gonna let that gray dry just a little bit. And then come back to the horse armor. I'm gonna come back in with some pure Strachan green for a little bit of highlighting now that that non-oil wash is dry. Just want to pick out the edge of this a little bit here. Lighten this armor up. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like that. back along here on this nice little ridge on these plates. That's just screaming for an edge highlight. If you had to wish, ask for something for Imperial Knights, what would it be? Anyone here play Age of Sigmar? I'm going to be shadowing a game to see if I dig it. Skaven Tide. But not until I paint everything 40k. Ha! I've played Age of Sigmar once. I don't know. It wasn't that interesting. It was pretty much 2 armies run up to the center of the field and fight. And then you're locked in melee. I feel like 40k definitely has more like tactical maneuvering and I don't know, a little bit more interesting play to me. Could have just been a really bad experience too. I think Imperial Knights, I don't know. I don't know what I would ask for. I've only played a few games with them. I don't really know what they need or what they're lacking. Alright, Nuln Oil time. Nuln Oil, where are you? Am I blind? Solid kind of gray, Black Templar. Black Templar. Targor, Raid Shade. Oh, here it is. Oh. Here it is. I was looking right at it. Dummy. I wish that Monolith would go to Legends. What? What? No. Monoliths are so iconic. Why would they go to Legends? That's silly. That's silly talk. I love monoliths. They're so fun. Alright, so we're gonna shade the hoses. Shade the armor. Shade the crevasses. Can't have Necrons without a monolith, man. Fact of life. Like death and taxes. Shade the armor down here in the feet and the stirrups. Gas mask holder. Scabbard. And over on this side, same deal. Alright, now we got some more metallic work to do. You believe people play 2 in a game? Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. They don't have an invuln save though, unless you're playing that one detachment. Then you get it through a stratagem. They have a 2-up save, so there's ways around them. You're like a Necron Knight. Don't knock the monolith. Alright, so the guard here, we're painting in Brass Scorpion. There are worse things than a monolith. Like a Thunderwolf Cavalry. Wraithguard, perhaps. Monoliths and Crusade are kind of fun, though. Because you can really make them stupid. Like, I upgraded the particle whips on mine. It pretty much kills any elite infantry. Increasing the ballistic skill to 2. Increasing the damage to 2. So it gets 3d6 blast attacks, hitting on 2s. Strength is 8. AP 1, damage 2 with devastating wounds. Absolutely disgusting. Get the brass on the scabbard. Brass on his cap. And he's got some buttons on his coat, which I'm going to also touch in brass. There's one there. There's one here. Brass belt buckle. Oops, bumped my camera. And look at some of these brass, these studs on the horse leather here with some brass. Down here we got some boop, boop, and boop. Alright, it's coming along. We are nearly there. Time to bust out the Agrax Earth Shade. I'm going to do this on the mask. The horse. And on the captain. Gonna shade that up real good. I'm gonna also shade back here. I'm gonna switch to a bigger brush here and shade some more of this leather. These saddlebags. These boots. This is where it's all going to start coming together. And he'll be done in no time. I think we can quickly whip up the base. So we got the saddle here. I'm just going to shade his khakis here. A little bit of shade on some of these straps. Whoops! Oh no! Oh no. I dropped him and his sword broke off. Oh no! What am I gonna do? I gotta find his sword. Where did it go? Resin miniatures, folks. Where the heck did it land? It's on the floor somewhere. Well, shoot, I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. The sword is gone. That really sucks. That really sucks. Might have a bit I can use. My bits box. I certainly don't want to print another one. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna fashion a bit together and then I'm gonna look on the floor and find it. And I thought I heard it fall, but I don't see it anywhere. Well, that sucks. Alright. To the bits box. Alright, we're looking for a power sword. Well, here's one. This'll work. Can't believe I dropped him and busted off the sword. That is most unfortunate. And I'm finishing him tonight, so... if I have to quickly kit bash something, we're gonna do it. Let's get these bits put back here. So you guys, has that ever happened to you? You guys drop a bit and it gets lost forever? Got a pretty clean break here. So many times. That just bothers me. Downside of resin miniatures, they are so brittle. They just like snap like that. All right. Super glue. Gotta make sure it's properly aligned here. Straight enough. Okay. Back to the Iron Breaker. Shaking my head, shaking my head. I can't do that again because this is the only power sword I have. Oh, this is covering like garbage because this plastic isn't primed. Oof. Tell me you don't collect Space Marines without telling. I have Space Marine power swords. These are like human-sized power swords. I got some Space Marines, just not that many. Actually, I might not even have a Space Marine power sword now that you think about it. Most of my Space Marine stuff is starter set and secondhand. Alright, we'll let that sword dry a spell. And go back to his gas mask. Alright. Envoy Brown. Baneblade Brown on the mask, as well as the horse's mask. There we go. Now I'm gonna bring out Corvus Black. There's some small. Could have put an Elder one on there. Skill would have been right for a guardsman. Bit of heresy, yes. I ain't about that heresy. These guys are loyal servants of the Emperor. Corvus Black in the eye sockets. And then he's also got kneecaps or knee pads. So those will be Corvus Black as well. Big knee pad right here. The hooves will also paint Corvus Black. Have not forgotten about the hooves. Gotta be careful not to drop him again. There's only so many power swords, and I don't have to print another arm just for a power sword. That'd be a disaster, a travesty. Alright. Nuln Oil on the sword once again. You painted Draxus just over a month. There's an Elder weapon in hand. Yes. She's a rules for thee, not me, kind of Inquisitor. Bunch of hypocrites. Alright, so we're gonna let that dry and come back to What was it? Oh, yeah, the brass. We're going to use Kineptic alloy for some highlights there. Yeah, I should round up all the miniatures I've painted over the past 3 months. Painted quite a bit. Alright, so we're going to do a little edge highlight here on the sword handle. Just kind of tarnish that brass a little bit. He's got like a little band on his hat. I'm gonna paint that red. For his commanding presence. I like it. Alright. I think that is everything I want to do to him. I suppose I can make the sword a little, interesting here. Maybe a little bit of, some glow here. Ah! Oh, this inferior dropper bottle got paint all over my hands. A paint pot wouldn't have done that. Ugh, what a mess. What a mess. I've just triggered some people, I think. Alright, we're gonna carefully take some pure white paint. Empower our power sword. What am I getting blamed for? Haha! I got paint all over my hands. Because the dropper bottle just made a mess. Alright, plasma coil glow. I just need a drop of this. Bloop. We'll power that power sword. There we go. Nice, simple power sword. Okay, so now I just gotta do the base. And he's off to the races. Skeleton Horde. This is gonna paint up pretty quick. The base will. We got some sandbags and a brick wall and a barrel. So, skeleton horde on the sandbags. Nothing too crazy here. Oh, yeah, a little jerry can. That's kind of cool. Let's paint that jerry can. Let's paint it. Let's do a green. Militarum green. This is really separated. I gotta put this on the mixer. While that's going, get some silicon gray going. Those bricks. Oh man, some of this contrast paint really separates. I don't like that. Paint that gas can green. We'll also paint this barrel green. And all the bricks, I think we'll do basilicanum gray. Nice, easy. Don't want to draw too much attention to the base. So these bricks are like buried in the ground. It's kind of cool. Yeah, always look for base packs that have all different sizes of bases, so that way you can get a nice cohesive set for your whole army. I forgot the creator of these bases, so I can't shout them out at the moment. I have to look them up. But it's got a whole bunch of different kind of bases. I think it's the same creator that I got some Chaos Skull themed bases. It's got all sorts of different kind of bases. A lot of good stuff. Alright. Next, we're going to do the ground. It's going to be some really dirty, dark mud. So, Cygor Brown is perfect for that. I accept no responsibility for someone else's dropper bottles. Fair enough. Just gonna go around here with Cygor Brown. Get that muddy texture in there. And then I'm gonna do like some snow drifts, some dirty snow. Kind of like a Stalingrad look. It's like a nice chocolate brown. Chocolate brown. Do 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 do. And this I will speed dry with the air dryer so I can glue him on the base. I have to figure out if I want him jumping over the wall or have the wall behind him. So I'd like some feedback on that in a sec. If anyone's still watching. Alright, let me just dry this off real quick. Okay. Do we like our hero? I missed the question. Well, the question is right here. Do we like him like this? With the wall in front of him? Like he's like, you know, this way, men, over the wall. Follow me to death and glory. Or like this. With the wall behind him. Because both look pretty cool. So here's option B. Or option A. Oh, Action Man dynamic pose that horse charging over the wall. The wall behind him makes him look like he's fleeing. That's true. I like that's a very good point. Jumping over the wall. Are you gonna get any of the new Krieg models? Yes, I am. This guy's gonna be my Lord Solar proxy. Yeah, I'm gonna get the new... I'm hoping to get the army set. I like the way the artillery looks. And then I have all these Station Forge riders, which these guys are going to become my Rough Riders. And then I'll use the new... yeah, over the wall it is. I'll use the new Death Riders as... Death Riders. I gotta get it so he's kind of level. So I'm thinking like this. Centered on the base. It's level. Yeah, that'll work. I like to use this gel super glue because it's a bit thicker and it kind of expands a little bit as it dries. So it's really good for gluing models to bases, especially when they have all this crap on them. Because it kind of fills in the gaps. Over the wall. Yeah. Good choice. I'm gonna get 2 of the army box and buy heavy teams and more Death Riders when they're available by separately. Nice. Yeah, the bulk of my infantry is the Station Forge models. But you know, the regular GW models fit in really good with them too, so I want to get the command squad, and the artillery pieces are really cool, so I want those. Yeah, new Death Riders, obviously. Engineers. Pretty much everything in that box is like, yeah, I want that. That'd be perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to add some of this snow effect. While those hooves dry to the base. Stuff is it's called soiled snow, so it's a little dirty to begin with. So it's perfect for this snowy, wintry trench. It's just gonna kind of add some clumps of it here and there. I don't want it to be fully snow covered. Kind of look like it's you know, been melting and mixed in with the muck of the battlefield. Get some snow down here to hide some of that super glue. Maybe a little bit on these sandbags. And this will dry a little bit clearer, and it won't be so white. Some snow on the wall, down in front. Yeah. Don't worry, this will look a lot better once it dries. Oh, man. I just made another mess. all over my hands. Got some soiled snow on my hands. It's alright. Alright, the last thing I need to do is just rim the base with some black. And let them fully dry, but it's gonna be done. I'll just quickly do that since got all the stuff out here. Abba dabba dabba down black. Maybe it's not the dropper bottles. Yeah, India, not the arrow. Can I say that anymore? Is that considered a racist saying? I don't even know what's offensive these days anymore. Yeah, so he's going to be on a very big base for a Death Korps cavalry captain, or whatever they're called, the mounted guy. I have a feeling that once the Codex comes out, that datasheet's going to be retired anyways, so I'm not even going to bother worrying about putting him on a smaller base because I'm already planning on him being him for like 2 games, and then the Codex comes out, and then he's going to be my Leontis Lord Solar Proxy. So. Alright. There he is. Bravely leaping over the wall. Charging forth into battle for death and glory. Focus. There we go. I did see the new datasheet. I didn't look very closely at it, though. They also released, like, a kill team mission pack so you can play solo with Titus and Chiron and the other character from Space Marine 2. And you can play through missions with, like, Tyranids attacking them. Looks kind of fun. Alright, there he is. Finished him up, wrapped him up in one stream. 2.5 hours, not bad. Not bad. Slap Chop definitely helped a lot with the horse. I got a squad of Death Riders I need to paint up. And then I'm at 2,000 points for Imperial Guard. Can't wait. Alright, so I think that's where we're gonna leave us at tonight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, very nice. Thank you, Francois. Thanks for showing us how. You're welcome, Ben. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Very happy. Looks great. Thank you. Alright, y'all have a wonderful evening. Catch you next time. I'll be back next week, painting something else. Probably not Death Korps. We'll see.